What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Balanced Perception YouTube channel. And today we're back with a brand new build. We're going to be building Hawkgirl's Mace. I know it's been a little while since I've done a video. Lots of things been going on, but hopefully I am now back full time getting these videos pumped out regularly. And we will be starting our, return to the set with a brand new build for Hawkgirl's Mace. We have her helmet over here, and we're going to be building the mace to accompany it. So let's get to it. So as I said, we are going to be building Hawkgirl's Mace today, and we have all of our parts printed out. This right here, of course, is just a helmet that has nothing to do with the actual build, just showing you guys that, this is what we're going to be building it for. We have all of the spikes right here. There are, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 of them in total. And then we have the handle right here and the other part of the handle. Now, I forget the size of the rod that goes in here, but it all goes together like so. We're of course just going to glue it together. But you gotta remember, with large props like these, you absolutely have to have something that goes in the middle to stabilize it, because just being held together at the top, these two pieces right here together, glue alone won't be enough to keep them together. So always remember that. We're actually going to probably start off with the hardest part, which is we're going to have to hand paint these pieces blue, hand paint all of these little parts silver, and then we're going to spray paint the large orb here in a bluish black, kind of like a gunmetal black. So it should be a pretty easy build overall. The parts probably took 2 days or so to print. Again, I split it up across multiple printers. If you're only printing it on one printer, it may take you, actually a decent bit longer. I printed it all at 15% infill. I printed the orb here a little bit lighter because I want it to be lighter and not to be extremely top heavy. So I usually do around 5 or 3% infill for this. We also did a textured version. That way, you didn't have to worry about sanding as much when things are textured. It just looks a lot better. So same went for these pieces. I think I printed them in 5% infill, but they're so small that it doesn't really matter. Anyways though, let's go ahead and hop to, actually, you know what, I take that back. We may go ahead, head to the garage, spray paint this. I do use Krylon spray paint. I will show you guys exactly which one I use. Get this spray painted because it dries to the touch in about, I think it's 2 or 3 minutes or so. So we'll get this spray painted up, and then we'll come back and we'll get to go ahead and, painting these. So let's hop to it. So to paint this, these pieces, we're just going to be using basic acrylics, Liquitex from Hobby Lobby, $4.99 for this color, $5.99 for that one, basic colors. And we're going to be first starting up here at the top. We're painting this one silver, and then blue. Also, if you're doing a build like this, always remember to burn off any extra plastic. A lot of times stringing this that happens on these, just burn it away with the, there we go, with a lighter, with a blowtorch, something like that. Just something to burn off sometimes the stringiness that does occur, and you're good to go. So we're just gonna go ahead and hop to this. There's nothing fancy to it, just using acrylic paint, applying it, and going from there. It's more so tedious than it is anything else, but let's just go ahead and get it done. Alright, so after another few coats, this is how we're looking. I'm probably just going to add a few more to even it out, but this is about the colors that I want it to look, kind of that dark blue, not a very bright blue. So yeah, that's basically how we're looking. And we're going to go ahead and move on to, while this dries, go ahead and doing the bottom part of it, which is the exact same thing, and continuing the process. So this is what we have so far, dipped in blue. We're gonna go ahead and let that dry. Again, that's why I really like working with acrylic paint, because it dries extremely fast. So we're gonna just set that to the side, well, specifically this piece to the side, and then we're gonna go ahead and start on our silver. We have to paint all of these dots in silver, and then all of the individual bars. So let's get to the tedious yet time-stakingly long process of getting all of these painted. So after about 2 hours or so, this is what we have. I think it came out pretty well. I could have used a smaller brush for some of the fine lines on the silver portion right up here, but you know, it'll do. And it doesn't look bad from a distance. When you get up close, you can maybe see a few imperfections, but from a distance, it looks really, really good. So now that we have this portion of the mace done, we're gonna go ahead and move over to the orb and move over to the spikes, which we're gonna be moving to the garage to paint. And I do wanna just mention again that using acrylic paint made this so much easier, as again, it dries within, you know, 10, 15 minutes or so. Airbrushing actually does dry faster, but I would have had to try to tape off all of the areas that I didn't want painted, and yeah, that really wasn't feasible. So that's the reason I did choose to go with acrylics. And again, the two that I used were the basic acrylics, Liquitex from Hobby Lobby, and they're just called Primary Blue, and this one is just called Silver. So that's what I went with. So on to the next step, let's move on to the garage. So while our orb and spikes are out there drying, we can go ahead and get the gluing going, because again, that'll probably take about 2 hours or so just for it to harden, and you know, 24 hours to fully cure. Very easy to do. You just literally put these pieces into one another, make sure that the lines line up. Let's see here, yep, like so. And then we're going to shove a rod in there. This rod, let's see, it was 1/16 of an inch by 48 inches. You can of course get one shorter, but that's the one that I end up getting. Then you make sure these parts all line up like so, and then you just literally ram the rod down there. So, let's see, like so. Rod goes in, like so, the rod goes in. And a little bit of friction there, but nothing a little brute strength can't handle. And then, wait, yep, we put this side in, and it fits together like so. Now, we're of course going to have to make sure we have the right length here on the end. For our orb, we have to, you know, go downstairs and we'll put it in and make sure we have the right distance measured. I'll just go ahead and mark it, and then we'll just glue this whole thing together. This right here goes on the bottom, and you want to do the exact same. So all I would do is just line it up here and just do an approximate estimation, and that's how much we'll know to leave on the end for our bottom piece. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue these together, head downstairs real quick and see what distance we need for the orb, and then we'll basically wait for the orb to finish drying along with the spikes and glue those onto this piece. All right, so now we have everything all dried up here. It's been probably about an hour or so. Just let it finish drying. We're gonna go ahead and start gluing these into place. And they literally just go in like so. Well, you know, like all around the orb here, whatever, the sphere, whatever you wanna call it. So we're just gonna go ahead and do that. Now to do this, I'm going to do a mixture of what's it called, the Gorilla Glue, along with super glue. The super glue to get it to hold into place immediately, and then this glue for the longer lasting effect. So let's do it. So several hours later, this is our final result. You can see it's very sturdible, as I like to say. I'm holding it with one hand. I can rotate it turn it upside down, no problems whatsoever. It came out really good. The colors came out extremely well. I was really worried at first about the ore because that was my first time really doing the mixing of colors in that manner, where I was literally spraying them both at the exact same time. Just literally dual wielding the two cans, and it came out very, very well. Hopefully you guys can see that. It looks really, really good. I'm pretty astounded for this was pretty much a one-day build. I do not recommend doing it this way, but you know, I kind of had some experience with doing it, so I knew I could get it done. But I would honestly glue things together, wait the time for them to dry, and then continue on forward. But if you're on a time crunch, just know that it can be done. This will be for sale in my store. Again, I absolutely love it. I'm starting to have a lot of props build up. You guys can see all of them in the background, so I'm probably gonna have to start getting rid of some, or I don't know, mounting them on the walls in here or something. I'm not sure. I have a ton of space in here, you know, that's behind the camera that you guys can't see, that I could definitely mount some of these props. So I may just do that. I may put this one over here. Maybe that's for an episode one day, who knows. Anyways though, I hope you guys enjoyed this build. I again will link everything that I used in the comment sections below if you are interested in making one of these for yourself. And if you are interested in purchasing one, I will also leave the link for my store. Always appreciate the support. But that's basically going to do it for this episode for making Hawk Girl's mace. It looks great when accompanied with the actual helmet. I did have my girlfriend wear both, well, wear the helmet and then hold the mace. You can see that in one of the shorts and on my Instagram. It looks really awesome together. I also think I'm going to go ahead and make Hawk Man's helmet because I have Hawk Girl, so it only makes sense that I make the other one. But I digress. Anyways, thank you all so much for checking out this episode. I greatly appreciate it. And until the next time, stay boundless. See you all. Bye-bye.